Doc Indy here. Welcome to part 3 of Health and Healing Starts in the Mind. So we're going to talk about our heart, our physical and our spiritual heart today. And our verse is coming from Psalm chapter 73 and verse 26. My flesh and heart may fail, but God is the strength of my heart and my portion forever. What encouraging words from the Word of God. The heart contracts in a very coordinated fashion for this thing to just go, and we pump on average about 80 beats per minute, okay, which is over 100,000 beats in a day. It's really amazing. Now the heart is responsible for circulating blood throughout the body, but it has to take care of itself too. So you see these arteries of the heart, it's supplying the heart, but sometimes they get blocked. They get blocked with cholesterol and what we call plaque, and a blood clot can cause a heart attack. So let's talk about heart attacks. In women, we don't always have the typical signs and symptoms of crushing chest pain. Sometimes it's nausea, sometimes it's fatigue, okay, a heavy left side, or if you're diabetic, certainly the symptoms aren't very typical because your nervous system, you don't feel things like people who aren't diabetic feel. So you have to do everything that's in your power to take charge of your health, your physical heart, with eating a healthy diet, getting proper exercise, not smoking, knowing your numbers, controlling your blood pressure. If you're diabetic, controlling your blood sugar. So I'm going to have a link down below in the description section to just give you a little bit more information about that you can use and take to your doctor to talk about your heart health. Now, one test that we do all the time in an emergent situation, if we think a person may be having a heart attack or they're having some chest pain, is that we get something called an EKG. Now, this EKG gives us so much information about the physical heart, how it's beating, the rate, the rhythm, if there's anything irregular or erratic, or if the patient is having a heart attack, or at least one particular type of heart attack. So let's say you get an EKG and, we do some blood work and it's not a heart attack. But sometimes the EKG can show where you've had a heart attack in the past, okay? What we call a silent heart attack. So let me ask you about your spiritual EKG. What old pains are you having that a spiritual EKG will pick up on? Some old pains that need to be dealt with and processed because it's still affecting you today. What do you need to let go and let God, to just turn it over to Him? Who do you need to forgive? Is it yourself that's causing this lingering subclinical mental pain? What does your spiritual EKG look like? The other thing that the EKG can show us with the physical heart is the heart rate. How fast is it beating? Sometimes I get called to the patient bedside because their heart is beating too fast. It can't do that for very long or it's going to give out. Let me know about your spiritual EKG. How fast is your heart beating? Is it going too fast? Does it need to slow down? Does it need to recuperate and get some rest and just get some self-care that it needs? Sometimes the heart, however, is beating a little too slow, okay? And we have to address that as well. Sometimes we need a pacemaker. So how do you pace yourself? What does that spiritual EKG look like? Is it so slow? Your spiritual heart, is it way down? Are you slipping into a state of depression? Don't isolate yourself. Talk to someone. Talk to your primary care doctor and talk to the Lord. Again, get the strength that you need so that your spiritual heart is beating and thriving and going at the rate that it should go. Another thing that the physical EKG tells us is the rhythm. Is the heart beating boom, 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 or is it boom, 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 boom? Is it having extra beats or skip beats or drop beats? Or is it regular and smooth? So let me ask you about your spiritual EKG. Is there some irregularity? Do you feel scattered and pulled in every which way but loose? What are you doing in the spiritual realm? What are you doing to help you reduce stress? It's a mind, body, and spirit effect. because that physical and emotional stress will take a toll on your physical health, on your heart. Sometimes it can literally precipitate something that's like a heart attack when you have this strong emotional upset or stress in your life, and you have to learn how to take measures to reduce the stress, creating your own personal health and wellness plan to reduce stress. And again, in the description, I have another link to help you in reducing stress in your life. Another thing that the EKG can show us is evidence of whether or not there's some electrolyte problems. Is maybe you don't have enough potassium circulating in your bloodstream, and we have to supplement it, and we have to monitor your heart. So again, it beats smoothly at the right rate and the right rhythm. Let me ask you, what do you need to supplement in the spiritual realm with your mental health to help your spiritual heart be strong? Is there something deficient? Is there a lack of self-love? I talk a lot about self-love and all the components of self-love. Go in the description and get the information to learn more about self-love. Maybe you need a little supplementation, okay? Sometimes the EKG can tell us when there's a little bit too much of something that can be toxic. Something that otherwise is healthy, but you have a little too much of it, or maybe something that literally is toxic to your heart. And so what would your spiritual EKG look like? Is there something that's built up in your system that's toxic that you need to let go? What situation you need to get out of, or person you need to let go? And again, this goes back to practicing that self-love. So our heart health, our heart wellness, we have to guard our heart. We have to protect it, our physical and our spiritual heart, because they're interconnected. And we just have to know who we are and whose we are. And when we practice self-love and know that we have the love inside us because we are a reflection of God's love for us, we have no choice but to love ourselves and to take care of ourselves. So remember, heart health, the physical heart and the spiritual heart, all interconnected. When one suffers, so does the other. When one is nurtured, the other one benefits. So I've said a lot in this short period of time. Make sure you go down in the description, click all the links, get all the goodies to help you with your physical and spiritual heart health. And I want you to be sure to like it. Leave me some comments, some questions that you have in the comment section. Like, comment, and share with some sisters that you know need to learn how to take care of themselves, mind, body, and spirit, their physical and their spiritual heart, to guard it and protect it. Okay? So remember, comment, get your goodies, and like and share. Until next time.